So to start the day off, we've got the Star hooked up to the Trail King here, and we've put it in the shop. And ignore this because literally I moved this trailer from right out there, seriously, right out there in the yard, 60 feet out there, just into the shop. So I didn't hook up my electrical. I left my chains up. This one has fallen down, obviously. I just hooked up my air, put my coupler down, and we backed the trailer in here. Because this third axle, this is an airlift third, this axle hadn't been wanting to lift, and it hadn't been wanting to put significant down pressure either. So it was down and we were dragging the axle, so to speak, but we weren't getting what we needed with weight distribution because we were still putting too much weight on the back two axles and not nearly enough on the front. And then just, like I said, we're dragging an axle empty when we don't need to be when it's an airlift. So I talked to a friend of mine, and honestly, I wish I'd have videoed it when we were down under this thing messing around, because what had happened was mud daubers. Seriously, dirt daubers, mud daubers, whatever you guys want to call them. Climb down under here. So those two tubes right there are kind of blow-off valves. We'll call them a valve even though they're a line. A mud dauber had gotten up in there and built a nest, and we couldn't evacuate the amount of air we needed to get that thing to raise, lift, or lower. Odd as that is, simple fix, luckily, an aggravation, but all it took was a little bitty flathead screwdriver. Now we're going to put the axle down. See right here, we're free rolling right there. We'll put it down. And that's that air you hear coming out of those two lines. Once that axle's down, we're putting weight down. Of course, we've got a chart, our gauge right here. We can set that to kind of how much weight we want to put on said axle. And there's a controller right here to do that. So now we've got, we're still raising here a little bit. Hear the trailer popping and creaking. So now we've got weight down. And this, pop it back up. There we go. And now we're lifting that back up, which, that's aggravating. Something, again, I'm thankful it was something simple. And we'd talked and we kind of figured it was something simple because there's not, to me, there's not a lot of moving parts back here that can go wrong other than maybe some lines or some valving. But no electronics, not a lot of things that could possibly go wrong, so I think, but then we're back up. So that was one thing we wanted to do, simple enough. So now we'll get this trailer back out of the shop here. We'll go ahead and park it back out here in the yard, and that concludes that part of today's project. Simple enough. The next thing we're gonna do, I might ought to just leave this trailer in here actually. I need to go home and get my 5500 because I'm in my 2500. We'll go home and get the big ram, and I think we'll drop this down a set of holes. I think that would be beneficial. Kind of get that up a little bit more. I think we might just do that. We'll go ahead and dolly down and just leave it right there. We'll get that taken care of and checked off the list. Now the logs from the yard here have all went to their new prospective homes. We've got a lot of chunks out there we need to get swept up. So that's what we're gonna do right now. I'm gonna go back in here in the cave, and there's the 333. We'll jump on this guy, kind of sweep that up. That way we can have smooth sailing. We bring trucks in to do it all again. It's good to try to keep things as clean as possible whenever you get the chance. Kind of dark in here. Oh. Yeah, we got some lights. Oh, boy, jamming out through there. Go ahead and mute that. So the 333, I've actually got it for sale right now. I don't know that I'll go back to a John Deere skid steer on the on our next unit. We've had this one about 15 or 16 months, so about every 2 years we try to get into a new one. About the time the warranty's getting close to being up, it's time to trade. And it's getting close to that here. I don't know what our hours are. 249.5 hours in, like I said, about 15 or 16 months, so not a terrible lot of hours on it. Plenty of room to kind of sneak out between the Ranger, the Skidders, and the Western Star. Get out here in the light of day. Start doing some sweeping. Now, as of lately, I've been trying some different tools and products. I like the lock and lube deal so well that I decided to try this thing here, this grease buster, this lock and lube grease buster for grease zerks that are no longer taking grease, which I've got one or two. Of course, there was hard to reach ones here that are not wanting to grease real well, so probably not in this video, but in the video to come. I'm gonna try my luck on that and see how it works. It's pretty simple the way the instructions read here. Of course, I order a lot of stuff off Amazon. But yeah, you just put a little penetrating oil, diesel, or similar into that piston there, then tap it with a hammer. It says, do not try to blast through the clog. So I guess it's not good just to take the old 5-pound hammer and swing with all your might to try to have some kind of explosion. So note to self, we'll try not to get angry and do that, but the videos to come, we'll try this thing out. Some of you guys might have it. If you have it and you used it, let me know how you like it. Maybe it's a good deal. Maybe it's easier just to replace the Zerk. I don't know. I think this thing was like, I don't know, 45 or 50 bucks. It wasn't a lot of money. Like I said, in all honesty, it's probably cheaper just to replace the Zerk, probably a lot quicker and less of a hassle, but it caught my eye, so I wanted to try it. Anyway, we're gonna put this thing up for the night back in the shop here. We've got the log yard area all slicked off. I'm hoping we can start getting gravel in here real soon. It's gonna take several loads of gravel just to get the coverage I want. A lot of that out here does have gravel in places, just like right here. I don't know if one time this was part of the parking lot or they had trucks coming in here or what it was. But we're just gonna put 2-inch out here, and really before we do that, Brandon's gonna come out here with the dozer and we're gonna kind of even this off, kind of shape it up a little bit, because it kind of slopes and drains back here. Then massive sand pit back here, so we might put some 3-inch in back there, because the Trail King, I want to park in that back bay back there behind the hopper, keep it out of the weather. With that airlift third, we'll just keep it in there. I think it's the best place for it. The load trail and the wagon can just stay outside for now. Maybe they'll get a spot inside once we get these other 2 garage doors open back up there, but for now they're just gonna sit outside, or until somebody buys my Eager Beaver. That beaver needs a home, so it's a really good trailer. The only reason the only reason I bought this Trail King is that Trail King 3 foot longer on the deck, so for hauling those 648s, that Trail King's a little better deal for us. But the 548s, they fit on that Eager Beaver real well. I think it's got like a 22-foot main deck with like a 6-foot beaver or dove on it, 6-degree loading ramps, so everything goes up on that trailer really nice. And of course, that's 3 axles on the ground all the time, where the Trail King's got that airlift third. But good trailer. Really, it hadn't hardly been used at all, honestly. When I bought it, the nipples were still on the tires, and I got it and we haven't pulled it a ton because we don't move around all the time, but I've put some miles on it, maybe 2,500 miles at most, I'd say. Good trailer. I like it. Eager Beaver. I'm just gonna say it right now. I really think the Eager Beaver is the superior trailer over the Trail King as far as how it's made and built. I'm gonna continue to be a fan of the Beaver. I just wish they weren't so stinking high on their 25 XPLs. because they are ridiculous if you go to buy 25 XPL.